for the next experiment and cool science activity, we have a jar, and my jar is a nice pretty jar, so you can use whatever jar you like. And you need some black paper. Black paper works really well, but I only have some green card, and it's this green piece of card that I'm going to use. So you can use whatever you like, just as long as it's not see-through and not a piece of file paper, because that doesn't work as well. So what we need to do is we're going to need to put this into, we're going to need to roll this up and put it in our jar, like so. Now, the thing is that you'll have a big bit sticking out the top, and it is quite overlapped. So what you need to do is trim that a bit. So what I do is I get my pair of scissors and I look at where the overlap is so that I know where exactly I want to cut. And let's look here as well. So I want it a little bit there. So when I take the piece of card out, I can see where I need to cut. So I need to cut this way here on this bit. So across here, if I can get my fingers out of my scissors. And I need to go this way here. So where's that little mark? There it is. I need to go across that way. So you can use a ruler and measure it a lot more accurately than I'm doing, but this is an easy way to do it. And now let's roll that up and stick it in my jar. Let's see if it fits nicely. It fits nicely. There's a little bit of an overlap, so I might trim that a bit. But otherwise, it fits quite nicely. So you have a little tube in a jar. So what you need to do is take this out now, and we're going to put a constellation on it. So what is a constellation? A constellation is a group of stars that we see in the sky. So some of you might know the story of Orion the hunter, you'll know of Leo the lion and all the different star signs that we have different stories for. So those are a group of stars in the sky to help us know what part of the sky we're looking at. Now, for this next bit, you need to be careful because I don't want to ruin this lovely bit of table. So I have some modelling clay. You can use modelling clay, you can use blue tack, you can use an eraser, but if you don't have any of these things, but you do have some flour and water, there is a nice little recipe in the book. There we go, Artily Jarvellous. There's a nice little recipe inside there for how to make your own dough that you can use as a soft surface. So what we'll do is we'll just press that and it looks like the earth, doesn't it? How wonderful. And then you're going to use this as a soft surface with a blunt pencil to make some holes. Now you could use a hole puncher if you prefer, but those make very big holes, and I quite like being able to choose what size of hole I make. So making sure that the modelling clay is underneath, make a little hole with your pencil. And be very careful doing this because you don't want to go straight through the modelling clay all the way into the table, because I don't think anyone will be happy with that. Now you're choosing what kind of star shape constellation that you'd like to make, and you can be as inventive as you like. You can make up a story for your constellation. You can do anything you fancy, but you could even try making a real constellation if you like that and you're a budding astronomer. So I've just made a few holes, but you can make loads more. Just make sure that you don't go all the way to the edge, because that might be overlapped and then you can't see your stars. Now we roll this up again, and we're going to pretend, let's move that out of the way. We're going to put this back in our jar. There we go. And what we want to do now is put the lid on top as well. Now you might have a little bit of trouble getting the lid on if you've still got a bit of card sticking out the top, so that's the whole point for trimming the card. And there you have your little constellation jar. Now sometimes, depending on how dark it is, so let's close the blinds. Sometimes, depending on how dark it is, you might be able to see it reflect on a wall. So move this out of the way. But the rest of the time, you should be able to see something quite lovely just by getting your torch out. And what you want to do is shine it underneath the jar and have a look at the lights shine, and there's your lovely constellation. Look at that. How pretty is that?